Hello and welcome. My name is Greatman Ayilara, and I am again excited to be on your screen this very moment. This is Greatman Christian Global Outreach, and today I want us to take a very quick look at some things that borders around pulpit, women, and sex. Don't forget that yesterday or previously I did a video coincidentally regarding the act of sexualization of women, about especially by these men of the pulpit. So it was so coincidental that I woke up this morning to some news on the media of Nigeria as a nation of so many people sexualizing one another and all of those things. And it was so disheartening for me to see that a lot of people are saying, where is your proof? Where is your proof? Why show us the proof and all that? For God's sake, this thing happened many years ago. And it was the year when there is no such awareness of or confidence to even speak out. And even till now, people are still shaming women that are talking out about pulpit sex. And this thing goes on and on every single day in our society. So if our sisters come out to speak about how a so-called public figure, a man of God, sexualize them, the best thing for us to do is not to tell them to keep quiet. And from my own experience, the pastors always win. The pastors always win every time. The richest man win the case in Nigeria. That's one thing I want you to know. I'm going straight to the point. I don't want to waste your time. The richest man win the case in this part of the world. Last night when I was talking about the pulpit, the women, and the sex, I highlighted so many things that will make a women be vulnerable constantly and forever vulnerable in the hand of this man of God. I think you should go check it out on my YouTube. Pulpit, women, and sex. I gave more than 7 points of the reason why our women will keep on being at the vulnerability side of this sexual thing. And I want to play an audio from my yesterday's teaching. And that is to show that men are responsible for taking care of our women. You see, the scripture even said that you should cater for them like you would cater for a weak vessel, a weaker vessel. It is your own duty as it is part of your own attribute or charisma as a man that when a woman want to mess up, you guide her, you help her to come up, not to take advantage of her. So something is that I've been a pastor of teenagers for many years, and I'm telling you the truth right now. It is so easy as a teenagers pastor to sexualize these girls. They are vulnerable. Vulnerability is in terms of they look at you as a father figure. They look at you as a brother. They tell you the things that they can't even tell their parents. I'm not here to take stand. Either this man is wrong, either that woman is wrong, or whatever. But I'm saying that the place of a public figure, especially in the body of Christ, is a very sensitive place. And we should commit the children into the hand of those who are being tested and okay. See, this has nothing to do with if the man is married or not. Oh. I've worked with a man in a teenage session who impregnated more than two of my teenagers. In fact, that was the reason why we fought. He was married, he had his own children, three daughters. It is about responsibility. And this still goes back to women. How are you raising your male children? How are you raising them? Are you raising your male children as a king who should take care of every queen they come across? Or you are raising them as just a boy who could go out there and mess things up? I was trained by a woman, not by a man. But I can't bring myself to the spot of wanting to take advantage of another person. As a matter of fact, if I'm trying to have sex with you and you say no, it turns me off totally. So if I want to have sex with you and you are saying no, but you mean yes, you is yourself you are doing no. Our men need to know that men, no means no. And how do you people that have sex with women that are crying and in tears and in agony and in pain, how do you used to do it? I want to ask. So it boils down to the women. How are you raising up your male children? Now, during my sojourn of pastoring teenagers, these children will tell me when they are menstruating because their mothers and their fathers are not always there. They are not always there to be spoken about these things. These children will tell me about their desire. We've had cases whereby parents want the children to be in science class and the children want to be in art class, and I have to be the one who's setting. I understand their emotion. I listen to them. They speak to me. They see me as a friend. They see me like a father figure. They see me as a brother. So they became weak. So stop saying that these women or these girls are the one seducing the guys. No, they became weak because you showed them the proper care. That's what I'm saying to the fathers. Stay at home, raise your daughters. The best time for you to fight for your daughter is not to pick up machete when they impregnate her or abuse her. The best time for you to fight for your daughter is before they begin to do that, so that she can come home and tell you, touching the hair of a girl child does not necessarily mean to become sexualization. Learn how to touch your daughter's hair. Learn how to speak to her hair. Learn how to tell her beautiful words so that when another guy is telling her those things or touching her hair, she won't feel it's the best time for her to start getting wet in her vagina. So if you are not ready, malo ready, to bati ready, mama ready, or this one that you are just having illicit sex up and down, you are creating more pain in this world. That's why these men in cheap clothing are using that opportunity, a loophole, to gain advantage into the lives of these children. I had a case of a little child that I trained up. I was living in Lagos Island, part of Lagos then, and the father would literally call this girl my wife. The girl was a child. She was in, I think she was in GSS 3. The father would literally say, okay, go and meet your husband, go and meet your. The father was literally just setting up this girl for abuse. And this is what I want you to know. Stop calling anybody. If a man comes and say, my wife to your child, tell them, no, no, no is no. And learn to tell your children that their private part is called private part because it is private to them alone. There is no sitting on an uncle's lap. When it comes to your children, be very, very crazy. Be mad, totally mad. That's why I said parents have a lot to learn in the case of the sexual scandal that actually rented the hair recently. This girl, when I was moving out of Lagos Island, I wasn't a serious Christian then. She actually came to me and she told me that I should kiss her. She said, please kiss me. She was crying. I said, I cannot kiss you. I cannot kiss you because in my little son, she said, it's only mine. This was a girl in GSS 3. She was not even up to 16-year-old. But a father, see, we are getting a lot of things wrong. And when our women begin to speak up, one thing I want you to know is that it doesn't matter when she speak up. The fact is that if she's speaking the right thing and the truth when she's ready to speak, because it takes a lot of people some time to really come to terms that this happened to me. And I'm going to be sharing a few of experiences with you today. One is I have a friend who is a male child, a friend who was older than us. Far back as when we were in, far back as 2003, it was already like 28, 29, 27 up there about. And we were talking sexually and all that, why he doesn't talk to women that much or play with women. And when he began to tell us, a guy, when he told us that he was abused as a young boy by a man that was supposed to be a deacon in his own father's church, he was crying. He was crying. A full-grown man. It took him 27 years to be able to speak out. So it doesn't matter when sexual abused people speak out. The fact is, are they speaking the truth when they are ready to speak out? But then we find ourselves in a wrong society called Nigeria, where whenever you speak out, people are asking for the proof. They don't even know how to decipher. At least your scripture says that out of the mouth of two or three, the truth is established. Why should a single man be alleged to have raped or have sex with women other than his wife 18 times within 5 years? 18 times within 5 years. Why is it? Is it the only one? Is it like his penis is the one that is sugar coated? Now everybody want to have a part of it. And why are they saying rape all the time? All the time. Now, if you are in a place of public figure or they place you in a place of authority, you are meant to make account for everything. You are meant to be accountable. First Timothy chapter 3 says that an elder in the church must be one who has self-control, who is beyond reproach, who is above every form of accusation. But in the day and time and age and dispensation and a society where every dictionary come out of the university and because there's no job, they start a church. How do we prove their ability? How do we prove their strength? See, being able to avoid sin is not in the absence of sin. In fact, holiness is best tested in the presence of sin. But in this day and age where everybody is a pastor and you just believe it, that's why we are telling you to know God for yourself and stop pushing your female child or your male child to your pastor to go and learn about sex education. One of the biggest mistakes you make in this world is to push your children to the hand of your pastor for sex education. For sex education, please excuse me. For sex education, we need to stop that. Now, I mentioned one thing during my last broadcast, and I would love to play the audio for you. I don't know if you can hear. I want to tell everybody looking at me right now that our women need to be protected more than ever before. More than ever before. In fact, they need to be protected from their own stupidity. From their own stupidity. Sometimes they think they are not being vulnerable, or they are not being weak, or they are not being acting stupid, but they are. So it is your own right, or maybe your obligation, your social obligation as a man, to protect that woman from our own stupidity. Now, you heard what I said there. It is the obligation of every man that has been trusted with power to protect even the women when they start saying, I want to seduce you, I want to seduce you, and that. You call them to order. It is your own obligation. It is part of the reason why we play in the place of authority. And people are saying that, okay, these people, after the whole thing happened, they still remain in church. They are still like this. They are still like that. Maybe something busted and they are trying to extort the man. That will lead me to this particular brief story I want to tell you. I was a young man. I just finished my polytechnic education. That was far back 2003. And I was really a church boy. I was attending Winners Chapel. I gave my life to Christ in Winners Chapel, actually. And this man was posted from Lagos to Ogun State. To Ogun State. I want to hide his name. He's currently in South Africa right now, and I believe he can make his way a lot in South Africa. You know, they have a way of just meddling with the head of people in South Africa. So this man came to our town. He's so much indoctrinated. We love him. Even I, as a boy, I love him. In fact, if I want to do examination or test, I ask for his prayer first, without considering if I had read or not. And it was a time when GSM was just coming out. And I am in Lagos, they are in Ogun State. And this, my girlfriend, is in Ogun State. And I don't know what happened, why she had to move into the pastor's place. So when I want to talk to her, I call the pastor's number to talk to my girlfriend. This is a girl that we're always quoting the book of Hebrews chapter 13 to each other. Marriage honorable, bed on the fire. They have used that Bible verse to mess our head up, eh? Bed on the fire. In fact, I don't allow her to shake me. So I was in the Polytechnic. I finished my education. I always call her, and the pastor will give his phone to her and all that. He was the only one who had a phone in that area, and that's the only area where there's network. So I came home, and something prompted me. I said, okay, can we pray together about this relationship? If we want to settle down in the future, let's pray together. And she agreed. I said 3-day prayer, and we started praying. I'm telling you a real life story of what happened to me. And how these men use psychology. They work with the head of these girls. She just finished her own education in secondary school, and then the pastor just got married, and they are expecting their first child. So they're expecting their first child, and she needed to move in with them to help them out. Sorry for that breaking transmission. To help them out. And then We started praying. On the third day, we were supposed to stop the prayer, and something told me that she's no more a virgin like she claimed. Because if a girl tells you she's a virgin and you're a spiritual person, you just know you believe. I believe that she is. I never touched her. And I said, "You are no more a virgin." And she said, "Yes." I was so disappointed. How? How come? How can I be doing fasting and prayer in Lagos? Who is this person? Before she could say a word, the word came out of my mouth. I should not think about my pastor. I have never caught him in such a situation before. Nothing should have suggested his name. I just said pastor, so, and so. And she said yes. I was asking her and hoping that she would say no. But she said yes. I broke down. I broke down totally. My faith in God, my belief in Christianity, my trust in the pastor, everything was shattered. So I'm telling you that these men, what you are doing to girls, does not only affect these girls alone, it affects the men in their life also. So we should give kudos to the husband of this particular woman who is standing by her. Who is standing by her? A lot of men would have left her in the ditch, and that will complicate matters. If you're watching me, you can please share this video. Now, this pain you cause these girls does not only ruin the life of these girls, it also messes up the life. It also messes up the life. Sorry, I don't know why my phone is actually giving me so much prompting. It also messes up the life of the men in their life. And when I got to know this, I was so disappointed. Very, very disappointed. Highly disappointed. And I decided, like, okay, no problem. If that's the case, if that is the case, we will just continue. I went home, I spoke to my mother about it, continued. We kept going to that church. That's the idea about it. Religion. That's the idea about it. So they began to toast our head. They said, "If are you coming to the church because of Pastor so, or you are coming to church because of God?" So we remained in the church because we remained in the church. I don't know what is happening to this one. We remained in the church because we have been indoctrinated that we didn't come to church because of men, but because of God. But then the men that are representing God are messing up our lives. So we kept going. So I understand why the man and his spouse will still keep going to that church for so many years. But the fact that I was going to I was even in the choir. The girl was even in the choir. The fact that I kept going to the church does not mean that I'm not looking at that man as somebody I could kill any day, anytime. I was filled with anger. I will be ministering in anger. And he will be using all style to make sure he feels like the best saint in the world. So I asked this girl, how did this happen? He said, one day the wife needed to go to Lagos because she has given birth, took the child to Lagos to the in-law. Boys that were living with them had to go to their parents' house. She was now left in the home with this pastor. And in the middle of the night, the pastor walked into her room and naked himself, just like that. This was pastor that we placed here. And this is a girl that is barely 19 years old. And she said she could not move. She was just dumbfounded. I could not get the reason why she could not move until I grew up a little bit more and I realized that intimidation, using your public figure status to intimidate women is a potent charm. It's like a follow and follow. She could not move. She could not do anything until this man finished with her, slept with her. She said even 3 days after sleeping with her, she could not bring herself to the spot that the man has this virgin. And then it thought that the man visited her room again, wanting to do the same thing, that she became, what is going on? She was telling and again, and to the point of indoctrinating the girl to the point that even when the wife came back, this man said he married the wife out of our station to Bauchi. I could not figure out why the girl was crying to follow the pastor. She was crying to follow the pastor and she followed the pastor. And I said, when this thing were happening, you were still crying to follow the pastor. He said, yes, that the man told her some things that are very strong, that they are now spiritual covenant partner. As a matter of fact, when this man is having sex with this girl, when this man is in the parlor, the wife is in the parlor, the girl is in the parlor, and the man is on it, wanting to have sex, there's a way he's signed to this girl. So the girl goes to her room, lock the door, but she's not in the room, she goes to the bathroom. So the pastor leaves the parlor and says he's going to the bathroom. The girl leaves the parlor and says she's going to her room. Nobody should disturb her. So the two of them have secured the same perimeter inside the same house. So while the wife of the pastor is thinking that this girl is in her room, not wanting to be disturbed, she's also thinking that the pastor is in the bathroom or the washroom, not having sex. And this man did not only have vaginal sex with her alone, anal sex, everything that have hole in her body, this man penetrated. And it went on for good 2 years. Good 2 years. The girl so much got used to this thing. She was a virgin, don't forget. She was a virgin. She got so used to the whole thing. That's how. And during that time, she kept getting pregnant and they are aborting it. So I haven't heard all these things. I flare up. What is going on? What's this? So the agreement with me and the lady was that I don't want to see you and that pastor again. I don't want to. But I don't know how these men do this thing. I don't know how these wicked men do these things. I don't know how she was able to penetrate into the head of this lady again and they continue the affair. After a year of me knowing, I'm forgiven. And when I got to know, I confronted the pastor. The good thing is that the pastor did not deny. He prostrated, he said, it is old man. It is his old man. You know, these old things are passed away, that he's still using him. The wife got to know, wanted to leave. They begged the wife. And after my ex-girlfriend was delivered from the hand of this man, she's married now with 3 children. I'm not mentioning her name. And we've not been in contact for a while. But we are good as friends. After this was escalated, some other began to come up from the same town. It so happened that every town they posted this man to from Winners Chapel is always sowing seed of immorality everywhere. And his targets were the young girls. The young girls. It was when I grew up and I started narrating the story, because it was my own mother alone that knows about it. It was one day we were talking about it, and my elder sister was now asking me, why didn't I end up marrying that girl? Because she's a good girl. Yeah, she's a very good girl. And we were talking about it, that my sister said, wow, thank God. My sister also had been approached by this man, indoctrinated. Especially that time, my sister just lost her own fiancé. And she was having this hallucination, seeing the guy in the dream and all that. And this pastor pretended to be there for her, to want to cater for her, and wanted to use her advantage. And she now started telling us her story. My sister never told us that this pastor tried to molest her before, until many years. She has even given birth in her own house, in her own husband's place. Until many years. So I want to say that many times the sexual victims, the victims of this sexual, especially when they are attacked by people that are called public figures, they find it hard to speak out until they have a place of confidence and a platform of encouragement. Either their spouse is encouraging them, either someone is encouraging them, their mother is encouraging them. And you know, this sexual abuser, they penetrate into the life of women who are mostly introverts, who rarely talk. So the first thing they ask your female child is that, who are you close to between your mother and your father? The moment the girl says, none of them, perfect, they launch. Then they begin to give you the story of, I want to be your spiritual leader. That's the story they are giving. And this is something that we are saying, we want to put an end to all this spiritual father. All this pass me a jeku that these men are doing. They will use a girl, use her to the last kobo, and then promise her one brother in the church. So they hand over to you what they have used and finished. And when their body feel like, okay, this girl has been upgraded, they still knock your matrimonial door to open that door of sexuality again. A lot of them are out there. So it doesn't matter what a woman is speaking out, it matters if what she's speaking out is the truth. And in the circumference of Nigeria, we don't know how to keep proof. There is no proof. This thing happened when there was no GSM. If it was meant to be maybe America or something, they can still make proof and all of those things. But Nigeria, even Nigerians are not ready for truth to be established. Nigerians themselves are not ready for truth to be established. So these men of the altar will continue to abuse our women. They victimize them. Some of them, because of disgrace, they kill these girls. They kill these men. What do you think is happening? Suddenly, a child that is always eager to go to church before, when you say, let's go to church, or she hears the pastor is coming, she becomes moody. And you don't want to investigate that. Or a child who doesn't like to go to church before, suddenly she want to go, she want to give her life to Christ, she want to be in church, she's a church girl. What do you think is happening? See, everything has limits. You must know how to really cater for your children. And intentional parenting is very, very paramount. Do not allow a stranger to know the movement and the modus operandi of your family. Not to talk of them knowing when you are going to be at home or not. But the foolishness of most women in Nigeria is that they believe their pastor can never go wrong. So they expose their children to their pastors. Even parents, male and female. So what I'm telling you today is that because of the society we find ourselves, most of these pastors are going to go unpunished and not brought to book. And they have connections. They have connections. They have connection. And look at the idiosyncrasies and the similarity between all these men that are being accused of these things. You see that they married a very gentle women. They married gentle women who will hardly harass them, who will hardly talk. Not every woman will be like Anita, Chris, or Yakilome, who is ready to burst out when the thing gets to the truth. So it doesn't matter when a girl speaks out, it matters if what she's speaking out is the truth. If we are saying, yeah, it has happened a long time ago, people like Bill Cosby will not be sentenced today. If we say it doesn't matter when they speak out, many people who have come out and got justice will have ended up, some of them even poison themselves. They kill themselves because out of depression, the society is even cheating them. The society is cheating them. Now, somebody was posting, Shalom was posting earlier that it's normal if I give a girl gift, a teenager gift, it's normal for her to collect it. And when she collects it and she begins to like me because I'm a cheerful giver, it is not my obligation to now take advantage of her. Because I give you gift, does that mean I must have sex with you? A lady called me today when the whole thing busted out and said, a man of God called a name, very popular. They are always popular, but their followers will not agree. Told her that she needed deliverance and she needed to come to church for deliverance and sleep in church for some days and all that. And she went. On the third day of the deliverance, the man said she cannot eat and drink so that she can be powerless. Intentionally put her under strenuous activity to render her useless. On the third day, when she had no strength in her, she was sleeping on the altar of the church, said this man pounced on her. She could not even fight for her life because she has lost strength. Rape her to pieces. To pieces. And this is what I want you to know. There's a program I normally hold on this platform. I call it The Art of Pseudo-Christianity. So many of these guys that are sleeping with your wives and your daughters, they are not doing it for the fun of it. Some of them, that is the source of their power. That is the source of it. We have investigated them. And they cannot approach you to take this sex from you amicably. They must forcefully take it from you. That is the mandate. How violent they are, how ferocious they are when they are taking the sex from you determines how powerful they become. That is the order given to them. A man who is an herbalist, one of those people I normally go to ask questions about, these fake men of God told me that some of them, they give them the mandate to rape even old women. I'm not talking about An aged woman is still there. Old women that are shaking, those old women that have no teeth. That is the mandate of some of them. So those ones, they particularly engage in grassroots evangelism. They are always going to the interior villages. And what they do is they force old women they force them to there is a difference between I'm asking you out and you give me sex. We had sex together. That's one thing. Maybe they now caught us, they now say we did wrong, but it was consensual. But this one, the mandate is to forcefully take this thing from these girls and these women. So even if you like such a man, when you give it to him freely, he won't take it on the day you give it to him freely. He will take it on the day you are not in the mood, and he must take it forcefully. He must rape and molest you. That shows how dedicated they are to the source of your power. And they are all around, having big, big churches, and people are following them. The man I told you molested my own ex-girlfriend. I think at the time, Oyedepo sacked a lot of his pastors, and he tried to start his own church. The molestation continued until his wife left him with his 2 children. And you know where he went to? He went to South Africa. He went to South Africa straight. He's enjoying his life there. I'm not going to mention his name. I want the people in South Africa to find this man out themselves. And I know that an old dog does not change his skin. He went to South Africa. He has established his ministry in South Africa now, enjoying himself. You know how sumptuous South African women can be. God will judge. This God in heaven will judge. He will judge some people. You will be asking for mercy for them, only that it will be too late. So let no man come and write us a lawsuit and be threatening anybody that you are messing my image up and all that. If they are messing your image, why you all the time? Now, I found myself in this situation before. Let me even tell you something. Late last year, I met a lady on the internet. We're talking. I've been married before. I'm divorced now. I'm trying to settle down again. And we're talking and all that. And it was getting to the point of I like you, you like me, and all of those things. And this lady was becoming passionate. Hey, hold on, calm down. I'm just trying to heal from my passion. Okay, she wasn't having a madam. Okay, this relationship cannot work out. You are rushing me. What is happening? You have helped me plan my life, and when you want to get married to me. And when the thing could not work out, she went on internet. She started crying wolf. She said, I abused her son, called some other fake weaknesses and all that. And they started giving their this thing. The funniest thing is that people now said, okay, how did he abuse you? Before they got to know that I've never seen this person in real life before, news has traveled far. It was when they begin to ask her, show us your proof that you came to Nigeria or he came to meet you where you are. There was no proof and case closed. See, when someone is lying, you will know. You will know. And it is so pathetic and so painful that it is you women that will be siding a man against a fellow woman like you. You should be ashamed of yourself. I've never seen such a gender like women before. A man rape your daughter. You are telling her to keep quiet to avoid shame. What is more shameful than what you are doing yourself? A man rape your friend and you are telling her to keep quiet to save his ministry. What is ministerial about that man? So women will shame their fellow women that is speaking out against a man, maybe because they also want to test the man. I've never seen such a gender before. I'm sweating in my house right now, passionate, and I'm always shouting for the whole world to hear now because a woman was taken advantage of. And I've been a victim of this thing before where my life was messed up. I couldn't go to church for many years. I was so disappointed. When I later found out that the man is still continuing his relationship with my ex-girlfriend, I couldn't go to church. I was so disappointed. But when I first found out, I was there. I was there in the church. The man would be messing up people's head and be doing some charismatic and be doing some motivational talks. Be calling everybody my daughter, and all of those things. But when we want to pull out, they say we came to serve God, not men. But what about when the messenger is not living out as a message? What about when the man of God is not behaving like his God? We'll pull something out of the church. What are you talking about? I wasn't this confident then. I was not this confident then. I even approached this man. He prostrated. I'm not lying. He prostrated before me. A man that I look like here, prostrated before me and was begging. But after begging, my sisters and brother, he still went back to be having an affair with this same girl and so many others. That was why I lost faith in God then. I became an atheist. I was introduced to so many rubbish things. It took God to bring me back. So then the girl only last or stay with the girl. It also transcends to the man who is in the life of that girl. A boy was talking to me and saying that when he was really sick, he's still sick. A man of God said he needed to sleep with his mother and his sister. And they opened yansh for him. And he slept with them. And after that, he said, okay, this thing is not put in. The boy needed to drink his saliva. And he opened his mouth. The man pulled his own saliva inside his mouth. That boy is still laying down paralyzed today. What if he did shofo? He did Jonah. They have painted the man's altar red with the ayansh. So I'm talking to the girls now, the women right now, be confident. There is more to you than opening your leg for any just person. And so if he's a man of God, and so what if he has the power to do miraculous? They use charm to do miraculous right now. If they use charm to call you and they sleep with you, we know that one, but not when you carry your body and you begin to you are disgracing the humanity as a whole. And this is why I'm saying that the women still have a lot of work to do. How are you training up your male child? Are you training up a rapist and the one who forcefully and psychologically siphon the right of a woman regarding her sex? Or you are training up a king who is creating a kingdom for a queen that she's going to meet? How are you training up your female children? Are you training them up to look at men who are achieving something for themselves as one who should be repaid back with their bodies? It boils down to the confidence we give to these children. And if it's not family, don't let him close to family. If it's not family, don't ever let him come close to family. Pastor is the pastor, let him stay in church. Teacher is the teacher, let him stay in school. The father of the boy, of the girl, is the one that is in charge of the home. And it's not limited to this man of God. When you are trying to resettle, maybe you are divorced and something like that, you want to resettle. Don't just resettle because you fell in love with a man. Resettle because this man will take care of your daughter and your son like his own. Don't just choose a life partner for yourself because you are selfishly thinking about yourself. Choose a life partner that will also look at your children as his own. Because we have several stepfathers raping stepdaughters and even stepsons. We have even fathers, biological fathers, raping their own daughters. So, in that light, I have not more to say than to tell you that there is possibility that a man or a woman has been sexually victimized or abused, and she will still continue to be in that church because of the indoctrination and the powerful and the potent hand of religion. But what is the way forward? The way forward is in the book of Daniel, chapter 11, verse 32. Those who know their God, not their pastors. Those who know their God. It boils down to the personal relationship with God, personal conviction with God. Hear what your pastor says. Some of you love men who can dress up. That's why you went to a place that looked like disco party, disco hall, and you are expecting holiness. They created an atmosphere of disco hall for you, and you are expecting sexual abuse not to take place. What are you thinking with your head? What are you thinking? Even deeper life that they are looking like, let us pray. Things started going down there. Not to talk of a place where everybody can just wear pants, wear anything, light is flying everywhere like disco hall. And these men, when they started going deep in this sin, they begin to preach the gospel of grace. That it doesn't matter if you are steep in sin when you die, it is your spirit that got born again, not your body. Hi! They forgot to tell you that your body is the temple of God. And you ever destroy the temple, God will destroy also. They forgot to tell you that without holiness, no man can see God. They forgot to tell you that without holiness, the scripture says no man can see God. God will help us. God will help us. I just needed to put in my own voice in this aspect that, see, we can't leave everything to what if not, what if not. No, it doesn't matter when a lady or a man is speaking out. It matters if what she's speaking out is the truth. And let us do our own homework well also in raising up these children and in making sure that we keep our wives away from this wolf. Cause be any man who is interested in what I'm interested in. My own wife, you are nursing hidden agenda and loving her. God will kill you in your dream. Try it with me. You will just die. The case will be like the case of Abraham and Abimelech. You know what happened to Abimelech when he took Sarah? Continue. One day, monkey will go to market, it will not return. One day, the bushmeat will catch the hunter. So we have rebuked you gently. We have said it in love. We have spoken it over and over again. You say you don't want to change. The Bible says we should put you in the hand of Satan. So there is no one beyond redemption. If you hurt a man, there is nothing bad in going to them to ask for forgiveness. Make reconciliation. Make reconciliation with them. Talk to them. Ask for forgiveness. It doesn't kill anybody. God has forgiven you, yes. But what about the human? There is something about restitution. Most of you don't believe in restitution even. So that's why they take advantage of you. You don't believe. They first tell you not to believe in restitution. So they keep sleeping without making restitution. Restitution is inward and outward. Inward restitution is when God forgives you and you say sorry. The outward, which complete the restitution, is to go to the person you offend and say, I'm sorry. Make peace with one another. The scripture says, if it is left to you, be at peace with all men, not because you didn't offend them, but because you have come to term and to peace with them. And God will help us. We are praying for everyone affected in every issue of sexual abuse. You are a man, you are a woman, you are abused by men of God. There are still real men of God out there, the men of God that are really panting after God and will not take advantage of you. And don't let those ones who are taking advantage of you mess up your life and destroy your relationship with God. That's why we said, go past, do a bypass from a man of God and begin to approach God by yourself. And you want to speak with your brain and your sexuality, a message, we'll record your message. If you want us to show your face or not, we'll do that and we'll get you justice. We have lawyers who are working with us. We'll get you justice. Don't worry. You'll be vindicated. There's nothing like social stigma. We are with you now. I'm a man and I'm speaking for the right of a woman. So don't worry. The world is changing. Nigeria cannot stay in the back. So the men out there who are looking for a woman to prey on, be careful. Days are numbered. Your days are numbered. But when you are coming to report a man of God, make sure that he abused you truly, or not the one that you said yes to, and you people went to gbadun yourself in hotel, and because she is not really having your time again, you want to use, I will not entertain that. So many of you really consented to this sex. You wanted it and he gave it to you. Maybe because things are not working out again, you now want to tweet it. We will not listen to that one. But when it's you and you know he took advantage of you, yeah, we are with you. And we are reaching out to all the men out there also who are struggling with their sexuality and lack of self-control, and all the women also. God can heal you. Just go to him and ask for real, genuine restitution and forgiveness. He can help you out. You don't need to live your life like this. How is it sounding that you have built an empire for yourself, and because of your penis, because of your penis, because of your penis, you cannot really maintain that? God will help you. One is already in prison. One Basil or so whatever, one Abuja pastor is already in prison right now. He's been given 12 years imprisonment. We're actually expecting more of them in prison like that. We want to populate the prison yard for those unrepentant sexual offenders, especially those ones who are called the public figure. God bless you and thank you very much for listening to me. If you're listening and you enjoyed this video or learn one or two things in it, please do press your share button. And also, if you're watching me on YouTube live, press your subscribe button and also ring the alarm so that whenever we are live and we have videos for you, you can actually be updated. God bless you now and grace be with you. My name is Greatman Ayelara and I love you from the bottom of my heart. Bye for now.